Is it possible to build a 1440p gaming PC following a dark and grown-up theme with exceptional upgrade options for under $1,000? That's what I'll attempt in this episode of Build Lab. Stick with me and I'll show you the parts, design and performance that's possible with a $1,000 budget. And who knows, you may even be inspired to build a PC of your very own. One of the key things I wanted for this build was upgradability. That's why it's no surprise that we're using an AM5 platform. The motherboard is the Gigabyte B650 Gaming X AX V2, a board with excellent price, no RGB lights and enough power delivery to run any AM5 CPU, thanks to its 8-phase VRM. As a refresher, an 8-phase VRM with 60 amp power stages can deliver a theoretical maximum of 528 watts if you assume your CPU runs at 1.1 volts. That's more than enough for our 65-watt Ryzen 7500F. If you want more education on motherboards, let me know in the comments. So, on to our goals for the build. $1,000, grown-up aesthetic with a touch of RGB, solid 1440p performance with plenty of VRAM, and a flexible platform to allow slot-in upgrades in future. Let's go! I always start my build by installing the M2 SSD. Any memory buffered SSD will do the trick, but today it's the crucial T500 in the slot. The key specs you want are capacity, memory buffering and speed in that order of importance. PCIe Gen 4 seems to give you the best balance of price to performance at the moment, but don't forget that memory buffering is important. The right memory kit is the difference between a sluggish and snappy system. DDR5, 6000 MHz CL30. I'll keep saying it in my videos until you're sick of hearing it. On AMD, there is no benefit to most users for going higher than this. I've gone for 32GB of ADATA Lancer because it's just plain black and not showy. With RAM prices going up, the memory is almost the same cost as the CPU. Speaking of which, we've got the Ryzen 5 7500F. Cheaper than the 7600 and the same performance. The only difference is no integrated graphics, but we don't need that because we're using a graphics card. You can get these from AliExpress, but if you're not comfortable with that, grab the 7600 or 9600, whichever is cheaper in your region. We'll get a light glow of RGB from some of our other components, but I thought a tasteful black AIO would be the perfect design accompaniment for this build. A Ryzen 5 certainly does not need any liquid cooler, especially not a 3-fan liquid cooler, but I got one anyway because it looks nice and fills out the case. The upside of this will be that this cooler can cool any CPU that you upgrade to in this system. The FX360 by ID Cooling has a beautiful understated look. Some people like to mount the radiator in the case first and only attach the pump block once the motherboard is already installed. I find the opposite is a lot easier, so I've assembled it outside and I'll fix the radiator later. I'm using a new case today, the Vida Elegance. It has wood paneling across the bottom and it comes with 4 ARGB ring fans in a fish tank style. And for only £50, that's a cracking deal. Vida is UK only and it is a sub-brand of a UK distributor called Spec. That's why you might not see them in most retail stores. The build quality feels exceptional for the price, so I'm excited to see how this turns out. I'll slide in the power supply first. The Corsair CX650 gives us some decent breathing room, but a slightly better alternative would be something like a Deepcool PL750D if available in your region. That one comes with an additional 100 watts of power, nicer looking cables and a native 12 volt high power cable for the same price. Pre-routing the CPU power cable is a little trick that I like to do to save hassle later. The motherboard can be dropped in, screwed down and hooked up next. I recommend laying the case down to do this. I've just done it upright for the benefit of filming today. The radiator can be secured from the top fairly easily as well. Again, laying the case on its side would be far easier, but for filming today I've done it upright. I have some EZ DIY braided cable extensions for the motherboard 24-pin for a neater look, as well as the same cable for the GPU later. I don't bother using a sleeved extension for the CPU power cable because it's not clearly visible and often the braided cables are more bulky and less flexible. Once all the motherboard headers are appropriately populated, we can reveal a special surprise. This Radeon RX 9060 XT 16GB is utterly gorgeous. It's the Sapphire Nitro Plus version. I think it's my favourite video card design ever. It's absolutely stunning and I got it for only £327 in the recent Prime sale. We slot that in and use the included anti-sag system for additional support, and we finish it up with a braided cable extension for 8-pin power. You don't need to buy this specific model to get a good experience. I would advocate law of the cheapest model, get the cheapest 9060 XT 16GB that you can find, because there's not really any difference between any of the AIB partner designs. After some functional cable management, our build is complete. This case offers simple cable management, which is appreciated. These Atrium style cases do have a little less room front to back for your cables, but we can make it work. When it came to the first boot, I was mighty impressed with just how good this budget case looks. The ARGB is there, but it's not super garish, a subtle glow, a little bit fancy, but not too much. I prefer this look. Generally clean, but with a bit of spice, just like your mum. If this PC interests you, UK viewers can buy this style in multiple spec options from my company, PC36. Don't forget my viewers get £50 off any PC with code YT50 at pc36.co.uk. I'll be selling this precise exact build at cost price, which means no profit to me for the first person that wants it, so check out the website now. I'd say we've achieved our goal of a grown-up look. The case is large enough to support any future hardware. It's classy, it's clean, and I didn't expect to like this case. I was fully ready to slag it off as a cheap piece of crap, but the Vida Elegance actually looks premium. The total parts cost for this PC was around £970, but of course that includes the tax here in the UK. That is also including the recent increases in RAM and SSD prices. We'll be slightly over $1,000, truth be told, but my hot take, if you can't afford $1,086, you can't afford $1,000 and you have other aspects of your life to sort out first. So I'll say goal achieved. Roast me in the comments. If more savings are needed, a tower air cooler would work just as well, as would getting a different RAM kit, perhaps from a different brand like Bywin. But after all this, we do need to see the performance, don't we? Thermals were beautifully controlled, as one would expect with such an overkill cooling array. 4 case fans and a 360mm radiator is more than enough. But remember, we chose this to accommodate any CPU we upgrade to in future. The same can be said for the acoustics, where the noise levels were noticeably low. This rhetoric about cheap fans always being loud has to stop. However, the coil whine from this graphics card was not great. I'd describe it as moderate when over 200 FPS. Coil whine is often random, and you could buy the exact same gear as me but get none of it. The 9060 XT 16GB and Ryzen 5 7500F combo bring dependable 1440p performance in a variety of titles, and can flex to high FPS esports or story titles easily. The 16GB of video memory eases anxiety around limitations in memory and textures in-game. If you intend to just play esports games at low settings, the 8GB version of the 9060 XT will give the same performance for less money, but our goal was 1440p gaming, so the 16GB is the better choice here. It will also do content creation to a decent standard with careful attention to your workflow. For example, you should be using proxy media. So, $1,000? Check. Grown-up aesthetics? Check. Solid 1440p performance? Check. But what about flexibility? I'd say this build is absolutely perfect for being a platform for upgrading over time, with one flaw. Can you tell me what it is? It's the power supply. A 650 watt bronze is enough for up to and including the 70 class cards of any generation, such as the RTX 5070. But beyond this, you need a higher wattage unit. If the upgradability is crucial to you, an 850 watt gold power supply is a great investment that could realistically last you 8 to 10 years. There are great options from Corsair, MSI and Montech out there. That would be the way to make this build truly perfect. So, flexibility? Check. And that rounds up our goals for this build. $1,000 doesn't buy what it used to, but at least we know that it can still build a beautiful and kick-ass gaming PC. Subscribe for more Build Lab.